101. Several of you in the comments are asking me, like, if I'm ill or something. I'm not ill. What? Because my throat has sounded a little bit rougher recently. I'm genuinely not even slightly ill. I hope we're all doing good. I'm sitting down here in late evening. I've got a cup of tea before I go to bed. And want to continue along. So we're with Bract here, getting one last look at the beautiful, the glorious. Well, not truly a last look, but a last one for a while. Look at the Fort Trinity before we move deeper back off into Ore again after a bit of a rest for him. We're going to be looking at the Order of Whispers plan, sticking with our faction here in this act of the game to essentially lure Zaitan's entire navy into our hands and capture it for ourselves. The Order of Whispers rationale is that, look, Ore is basically an island. I mean, it's a peninsula, but the Scavenger's Causeway that connects it to the mainland is so irrelevant to us right now. You know, that connection is to a wasteland of the Crystal Desert, right? So we can think of this as a naval affair.
Fantastic. The ship won't bother us anymore. Get the invasion force prepped. We'll have to clear out more dangers along the way before we can finally land the team on Ore.
Okay, and it seems the people in the Straits of Devastation here are still working very hard. And as a naval thing, we should look at their ships. So that's what we're going to do. Heading back into Malkor's Leap now, you'll notice that behind the fallen, broken, dilapidated Cathedral of Doom, at Doom's last stand, we're actually going to begin on the northern coastline, an area of Malkor's. Even if you've watched through all the recent bonus videos, which I seriously recommend you do, you won't have seen this part of the shore. So let's see what Bract's got going on. It's something to do with lighthouses, which we'll refamiliar ourselves with very soon, because our main objective is this main one here called Beacon Torch. So let's see what we got. Oh, great. There's a champion giant in the way, and that player over there is just taking one look at it and ran off in the other direction. Well, I certainly want to as well, but we're going to have to sneak past it. So, we're refamiliarizing ourselves with the skills here, guys. We'll check out our Elixir S, remember, which we can toss to stealth ourselves. Problem is, the giant's running in the same direction as us, so we're just going to appear right next to him. Oh, God, there he is. It's okay, he's trying to shout and we can run on by. Look at this creepy little risen raptor there as well, by the way. Truly horrendous, freaky ass eyes. There's so many beautiful enemies in this game. Like, look at that thing with cool animations and effects that I think most players just don't really look at because they stay zoomed out so far, especially in Ore and stuff. Look at that thing. There should be like a bestiary in-game, not just to give us lore for these things, but also so that I can like mouse around and look at them in close detail. I guess that's one thing that minis are all about, right? Like you can have a mini that lets you take a good look at these kinds of creatures at your leisure, like we can here with Tequatl. But yeah, okay, so on the northern shore, we're going to enter Stealing Light. Now, you'll remember with one of the recent story instances, I said that the quality felt like it had been bumped up quite a lot. That was the one where we assault Ketamans. Well, I'm going to say that again here. I actually think that this act that Bract is about to go into is some of the highest quality in terms of implementation story in the entire game. It's like whatever devs made this put a ton of effort into it and worked really hard on it. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the first stuff they'd made in Ore whatsoever, because it's truly fantastic, and it's one of the things that it's one of these surreal moments where I've been looking forward to talking to you guys about this stuff for a while now. So here we go, Stealing Light, let's enter. Alright, hello team. Much going on? Well, what kind of characters have we got here? Not necessarily a ton of recognizable Order of Whispers people, admittedly, but those boundaries have been broken at this point. I think you'll find, even when we're looking at the tanks from the Char and the Iron Legion pushing through Ore, that wasn't necessarily just visual NPCs. So there are a lot of recognizable names. We've got Crusader Ella Jane over there. So Ellie Jane is a character that's been in the story before, has never met Bract, but did meet Tyrix in the Fields of Ruin around the time of the peace treaty and the negotiations. Tyrix helped escort her across the Fields of Ruin to get to the camp. Who else have we got here? Well, we've got Agent Zot. Zot was the dude that we met on Claw Island, reconfiguring the lighthouses there. So it's amazing that he's in this story. He did all that kind of beautiful stuff with, you know, the Lion's Torch. And did each of them have a POI? Lion's Torch was definitely one. one, and there was one over here and here. You know, he reconfigured those, and he did that to help bring Blightcast out of the sky. So it would make sense that he's a part of this operation with more lighthouses here in Ore. These two we've never met. This is Scholar Inkblood and Amphib. We'll talk more about them later, I guess.
Help! Save me! I've been eaten by a vicious leviathan.
I can't believe you're considered an equal in my field.
Take a look at that. And they said nobody has fun in Ore.
Okay, and I thought that was someone else, and it's Ellie. So Ellie is a character, again, that's been in the story before, but Bract has never met. Cariflower met Ellie. Ellie was the Asura with the hologram doing the announcements in the arena outside Lion's Arch when Cariflower was trying to reclaim Caladbolg from Wayne when we were dealing with all of that. There was that Asura with the big hologram. And if you remember, I actually gave you a bit of trivia back then. I said, look, this is an Asura that has lots of different points in the story she appears. Funnily enough, Bract could have met her if he had chosen for his first invention to make a valet golem. We instead made a trans-atmospheric converter, so we've never met her. But if we'd gone a valet golem, this would be a reunited moment. But Ellie, has this story. She's in some early Asura stuff if you pick the right choices, then the Sylvari meter, and then finally she's here. Playing in this big old bone here, so brilliant. She calls that a Leviathan, which was a mysterious underwater creature we saw in one of the trailers for Guild Wars 2, but never actually ended up in the game. And yeah, so, hello, Inkblood.
What do you need to know?
Not much. So, Inkblood, we do very barely know, appeared briefly in Forging the Pact, but little more than that. We've got Zot, who seems to be bonding with Ellie here. So, these two minor characters getting to know each other a bit more. And, yeah, just immediately, this feels high quality to me, right? Because we don't have to, press F on them in a weird way to get extra dialogue that might be missing. They're directly interacting with the environment. It's kind of fun, extra bit of flavor. It's not all business. There's a bit of extra stuff here. And so anyway, the main person in charge here is going to be Ellie Jane. Hey, how's it going?
Your reputation precedes you, Commander. I'm glad to be working with you. Let me assemble the squad. Squad, circle up. Time to talk tactics.
And look, they wave, look, they salute and stuff. Hello, everybody. Okay, it's all good. I guess I should salute too. Time to talk tactics. What do you got for us?
Listen up, team. Our target is Beacon Torch. It guides bone ships through the darkness of the Orient Vale. Our plan is not to capture the lighthouse. We get in, redirect the light, and get out.
What happens then?
Then, Commander, the bone ships will follow the beacon and end up like beached gulper fish. While they're stuck on the rocks, we wipe out the crew.
Greetings, Commander. I'm sure you remember me, Zot, master of Auspex enchantments and ocular devices. We met at Claw Island and...
Ahem, you toddling ninny bucket!
Yes. This is Ellie, my adjunct. Loath as I am to admit it, she is an expert on holomancy.
Adjunct? You wish, stuffy britches. Traherne said I'm your partner. Nice to see you, Commander. Get ready for some fun.
Get to know the squad. We'll head out when the scout gives the all clear.
Calling someone your adjunct has got to be one of the most offensive things you can possibly say. So yeah, of all these characters, the only one Bract is actually familiar with is Zot. And he did some good work at Claw Island. So yeah, we get a chance here to meet the squad, so let's get to know everybody. Well, we got some starbursts over everyone's head. Let's start off with the new guy, Inkblood. Who are you? Hard to believe Ore ever had life. Imagine it. One man believed he had to do something that drastic simply because of a Char invasion. The Char would think that, right? That, you know, hey, it's just an invasion. We do them all the time. Loads of people get invaded. You don't have to throw a hissy fit. Just let us conquer, you know. That's the natural course. That would be the Char perspective. What do you mean, says Bract? Or ever seeking answers to questions in the Asura way. The Vizier of Ore acted foolishly. Yet working with humans and other races has brought perspective on the decision. How so? Well, foul choice or not, what we're seeing here no longer has anything to do with old Ore. This is Zaitan. We'll cleanse it all and then worry about what's lost to time. Some adventure, eh? Look at this. This is so cool. They're like breadcrumbing like a suggestion of, all right, let's say we actually beat the dragon, which is a challenge all on its own, Kaith's Wild Hunt. Then let's say we actually cleanse this place, which is monumentally even more impossible, Traherne's Wild Hunt. Let's say everything happens. then we have to worry about, like, who claims it. Do the Char claim it? Do the humans? Does that conflict reignite? I don't think the humans are in a position anymore to even remotely deal with that. They've got cut off contact with Alonans, cut off contact with Canthans. They have very little strength left, right? They're pinned in their home against Centaurs, so maybe the Char would just own this now, guys. It's a weird thought, right? I mean, what Char buildings and influence do we see here? Nothing really, but they would be the ones to be able to maneuver their way in. I like to think that we Asura would mastermind our own little, avenue in there too. Anyway, this is some adventure, I agree. One I'm willing to see through. So yeah, that's Inkblood and his pet. Can we can't actually interact with it, but look at how Amphib is actually coded here to wander around and look at things. Even though his master's standing still, they've actually got that in there. So, what about you two? You two sitting together? You having fun? You're a bit of a stranger to me, Ellie, so I'm going to start with Zot. Sorry. But I think that Brack's that kind of guy. He's very charismatic, to be honest, but he'll pick up with old friends. I'll say it again. It was an honor. Claw Island was a major victory, and I hear many more victories have followed in its wake. I've been there for some of them. It's never easy. Look at this. Only some of them, guys. This isn't a game where you are the hero in every single place all the time. Stuff happens without you. It's never easy. Yeah, and I mean, we've seen our fair share of death too. Of course. Sorry, I didn't mean to infer. It's okay. What can you tell me about this Orient Lighthouse? You were good with the Lion Guard lighthouses. Unlike the Lion's Arch ones, it has nothing to do with Asuran magic. This is old Orient magic. Between Ellie and myself, we'll figure it out. So it was only very recently, guys, right, that I was making that comparison between Orions in their heyday and how they used magic as tools like anything else, as the Ascalonians were observing in that scroll, and how we can kind of liken the Asura to that. You know, the Asura use this magic for everything and wantonly. Well, here Zot is making that comparison too, you know. How did you end up with Ellie, anyway? You seem like a weird mix. What's she got to do with all of this? Well, in the downtime, after our defensive victory, I saw Ellie's commemorating performance and was quite taken by her holomancy. Wait, was Ellie at Claw Island and celebrating with using her big golem holograms to congratulate everyone? I don't think so. But anyway, I guess Zot saw that. This is a cool description of the events of Claw Island as well. A defensive victory. It's very important to see that. That was our first real victory altogether, but it was only a defensive one. So anyway, I see. He blatantly likes her, right? They've set that up very clearly here. Hey, do you like him too? He's looking pretty good. Nice. Big. Well, actually, I've got bigger ears, I would like to point out. All right, ladies. Hey, don't mind my colleague, Zat. He can be a grump, but he's mostly acceptable. Is there something I can educate you about? Pfft, educate me? Excuse me. How did you end up here? You're unlike the rest of the soldiers. Quite perceptive. I started off as a lowly commentator for golem battles. I worked my way up to big tourneys where Zot finally recognized my talents. Look at that. So earlier Asura's stuff and then a little bit later with the Savari stuff. Wait, and he introduced you to the Pact. More or less, he saw my hologram and figured I could make it fight. After some experiments, I was able to create a viable hollow battle frame. Want a demonstration? Alright, so this is not a big spoiler, guys, but as the story goes along, the idea of using holograms to fight is a technology lots of different factions will tap into in the upcoming years. So I just want to take a minute and breathe in this moment where Guild Wars 2 first acknowledges that idea, okay? This is where we really see it. And especially Bract, okay? Because obviously we have elite specializations and stuff coming up later, and it might be something to bear in mind. Anyway, she wants to give us a demonstration? Sure, I'll check this out. Optimal. Now watch and be amazed. I'm ready when you are.
Amazing, don't you think? It mimics everything I do.
I used it for tournament announcements.
Cacophonous catastrophes, Ellie, you chowderhead. We're supposed to be hiding.
Whoops. Sorry, Zoddy, I forgot. Powering down.
Man, the synchronized animations, obviously it's so good and easy for games to do, but there's something that always feels so awesome about it. It reminds me of like Guild Wars 1 dance videos and stuff. Brilliant stuff. So yeah, you get to see that extra little demo, and we'll see how well she can fight with it. We can also say to her... Oh, here, we'll just say, let's stay quiet for now. And she says, oh, it's rather impressive, but okay. I guess we are supposed to be Order of Whispers, and that makes sense. All right, so we meet the crew. Let's move on. I like how Crusader has kind of been just the strong and silent type in the background. I'm more curious about her than anything else right now.
Greetings.
Though we have a backstory, obviously, via the eyes of someone else. The operation will start soon, but we need to wait until the moment is right. Why is that? Well, we have a combination of char, choppers, and ground troops doing surveillance. There's a specific window during which we can strike and be successful in capturing the lighthouse. Look at this. We've got our eyes in the sky. This is great. I'll be ready when the window opens.
Scout reporting in. We just got confirmation from Copter 5. Your team is go.
Understood, Zri. And thanks. We'll take it from here.
It's Zri!
Commander, will you take point? We need to hit the water and approach Beacon Torch from the bay.
So another recurring character. Oh my god, she's gone again. She's awesome, man. So Zri only appears for a moment. She's doing her own surveillance as a part of her own thing. But that was the Asura, you remember, who was sneaky helping us out when we were examining what happened to the Dermond Priory excavation into that ancient dwarven tome that we pretty much assured was the tome of the Rubicon, though it wasn't 100% confirmed, right? Remember that? In Forging the Pact, that was Zri, and she just reappeared. Zri was also there with the Apatia stuff, for what it's worth, so. Anyway, okay, cool, so we'll move on.
Friend or foe?
It's time, just lead us up the mountain, Commander. Agent Zot has the device to control the lighthouse once we've cleared all hostiles. So we just kill stuff, get to the lighthouse, and take control with their technology? I've got your back, Commander. Let's kill some Risen. This Char feels like such an odd man out here with all these Asura around. You know, there's 4 Asura in this operation. I guess he's medium armor at least, and he's a ranger, and he's kind of stealthy-ish if he needs to be. First we reach the lighthouse, then we hijack the beam and transfer our signal to it with my brilliant device. Simple. I hope it's waterproof, because we're going to go for a swim here. Hey, psst, don't blow my cover. I stay cloaked so my hologram can take all the pain. All right, got it, Ellie. I'm sorry. So, yeah, let's move on through. I like the idea that maybe Scholar Ink Blood is Ash Legion, right? That works well. So, we got to swim. I guess I'll just jump in. And there's a lot of stuff to kill en route. So, this is actually... it can be very tempting to swim past all of these things and not fight them. But you can get in a lot of danger because the Risen Sharks will charge you. I've demoed more than well enough how dangerous they are. By the way, look at this. Swimming animations for Tequatl. It's so cool, isn't it? And that technically means any of the dragons we've seen have got similar swimming animations they could run. So, yeah, you can get ruined. And if you die later in the mission, there is like no good checkpoint here, so you have to make the swim over and over and over again. So I'm actually going to clear all this stuff out as the devs intended. I have literally nothing interesting commentary-wise to say to you guys, except to wish you've all had a good day, and I hope you're having a nice evening. So I'm going to cut it all out, pretty much. Obviously, Bract has a lot of high-powered explosives he can use, and has always been strong underwater, so we'll just worm our way through. Look, we can think of it this way as well. We're putting these poor Risen turtles and stuff out of their misery, and I think that's important. Oh, God. There you go. Great example of the shark pressure there. See you guys in a sec. Oh, I'll tell you what it actually is that's going on and why I remember this is always a problem. It's because they're respawning. So this is a really rare example, actually. Perhaps a consequence of the fact that clearly a lot more time was spent on these instances than many of the others. Or they're actually respawning enemies in the waters here, so you can't have it permanently cleared. You just got to kind of grind your way through. All right, so I guess while I can, I'll point out another thing here. If you've been watching the bonus episodes, you'll recall I did mention some underwater Inquest facilities in the area. Well, that's one of them, submerged underwater there. And you can actually go inside those to an extent. So now recalling, look at that cave over there as well. That's a cool looking area. That they do respawn infinitely. Or do they respawn? Yeah, I think they really do. I'm just going to try and get forward a bit quicker and try and get to dry ground ASAP. This is the last shark, and these are really the main threats. So once we've dealt with this, there shouldn't be too much more to fear. I mean, a single sea scorpion, that's not going to be a big problem, is it? Queen Starburst showing us exactly where we want to be. It's on this rock at a nice, clean, easy, smooth slope up towards the mountains and the lighthouse on top.
A moment, Commander. Let's regroup here before we head up the cliff.
Alert! Alert! We're being invaded!
Ellie, you're all backwards again. We're the ones invading.
Nozai, she's right. That spider's a spy. Sick of amphibi.
Oh, God. Okay, wait. Okay. Oh, my God. Okay, we're already being here. All right. There's so much to talk about here. So, first of all, yeah, there was a really cool spider. I couldn't really get a good glimpse here because we were still a bit blurry-eyed coming out of the waters. These guys haven't changed their dialogue, which I'm very happy. I got your back, Commander. Let's go some Risen. So, this is a really cool sequence here where we need to climb the slope, right? But we've been spotted by that Risen Spider spy. This isn't the first time we've heard of creatures like this being spies. Wasn't it Risen Crows last time we were looking at it?
The next one.
And so Zaitan's going to keep sending waves and waves of mobs down this hill towards us. And you'll notice up there is an immobilized, unable to move, Risen Giant. It does time out in an hour, so I wonder what happens in an hour. But so he's up there, and he's just going to keep sieging down at us. And the idea is that, you know, these are long fights we're dealing with, and every time you notice we're getting hit and knocked back. Perhaps at launch there was an idea that that would do a lot of damage or something. Yeah, so we need to progress up against the onslaught, these waves of Risen now that our cover's been blown. And you kind of get that little bit of an Order of Whispersy flavor in there, I suppose. And as we move past one giant, I suppose we could turn around and clear it out if we like. Yeah, let's do that. Ellie Jane certainly wants to. But once we pass one giant, the next one's up there is going to start sieging us too. It's kind of a cool sequence where instead of it just being trebs or catapults that would be firing down at us like we see in a lot of the events, instead it's freaking giants. Stationed near old statues to the gods as well, for what it's worth, which is kind of a creepy extra touch too. Let's throw our mower at it. Oh, it didn't work. That's a shame. We can't mower a giant. They're too big.
For me.
Oh, God. So you see everybody actually went down here. Let's equip our Elixir R and throw it at their feet so that we're AoE reviving. There you
I don't
go.
have time for this.
And then we can put Elixir S back on. Oh, the next wave's here. Just in time. So let's clear them out. Oh, this group hurts. This group's really hurts. Careful, Bract. Careful, careful, careful. Luckily for us, Brack just does obscene damage. Ever since he learned to master Sorrow's Embrace, just our damage is through the roof. So even if we're a little bit squishy, we can pressure hard. And we'll be relying on that on the challenges to come, believe me. Because Brack still has a hell of a challenge to come. So this giant actually doesn't look too big. Oh no, he definitely is quite big. Well, I don't know, we're in Asura. I've definitely seen bigger. Oh man, I will never get tired of the epic giant dying animations. Okay, good. So with that cleared, we want to keep progressing up, right? So we can take this U-bend here. This U-bend? U-turn, hairpin turn.
What's that scrabbling sound?
And we'll be met with something kind of cool. I kind of want to sneak down here. This is just under the Cathedral of Eternal Radiance, for what it's worth. But there's a POI here that I really want Brack to grab. Can he while he's here? Maybe we can't. Well, maybe it's above us, actually. Oh, I think that's just one of the seals, because we're under the temple, right? I think that's one of the seals that's up there that
Spiders! Don't stop. Keep moving forward.
is a part of the meta. So, spiders start. So this all started with a spider seeing us. Now, if you look here, check it out, right? Waves of spiders. Obscene number of spiders come flying at us. Now, they're all really weak. I wish that Guild Wars did more of this, right? They will genuinely attack you, but they're squishy little bugs, right? So you can blow them up like so. But another wave will come. They'll just keep flooding towards you. And I think it's so cinematic and badass. Now, the really fun thing about this as well, it's a bit like ages ago when we were in Lion's Arch. If you remember, the visual perspective of Lion's Arch was going through the sewers and flooding out of the sewers with tons of rats. And I told you guys that people at launch used to use that sewer pipe to kill a ton of rats for free, and that would charge up their Weapon Slayer achievements in the game. And at the time, I also told you that there was another area later, way later, that you could do a similar thing. Welcome to later. Here you go. This is the payoff for that. It's this instance here with all these spiders. If I hadn't killed enough people with a longbow before or a short bow or something, I could just stand here trying to kill these with short bows over and over and over again and just farm a ton of kills. At least I think so. It might have been nerfed or something over the years, but certainly was a thing for a while. And, yeah, you just kind of run ahead. The idea that we've had a spider scout is cool enough. Now, waves and waves of spiders. Well, yeah, isn't that somewhat suggestive of the kind of creature we might find at this lighthouse? I thought we'd seen enough of spiders already. Well, here we are. Beacon torch. High up on the cliffs, overlooking the waters. Just want to make sure everything's dead back there so that my squad can actually move through. I don't want them getting caught behind. And what do we have here? A risen spider lord, invulnerable. And look, just around him, just spiders constantly spawning underneath, around him and around him and around him. Oh my god. I wish I could have a spider lord spec and just summon billions of spiders. Gonna be like a necromancer style ranger kind of thing. That would be so cool.
There's the master. We need to take him out in order to secure the lighthouse. I don't have
More food for my pets. Excellent. Those scrawny little things are your pets? They look more like fish bait.
Oh, God.
We'll see how brave you are when the swarm takes you.
Oh, man. See, Inkblood's badass. I like how he's the only one with a snarky comeback because he's a ferocious-ass char. Yeah, we'll see when the swarm takes you. Oh, my God. So the risen Spider Lord boss.
Pathetic mortals! My spiders will feast on your flesh!
Right, so when you do enough damage to this guy, he will turn into kind of a plague form and flee really far, doing immense damage around him and shrugging damage off for a while and move to a new location. So you've got to be very careful of when he does that and then get away from him. There's a lot of condition damage on my allies right now, and they will die before the end of this. So we want to hit the boss as hard as possible while we still can and they're still up. I'm going to try and break his break bar if I can. Let's drink our Elixir X. Okay, we just became a tornado. And we're going to, like, try and throw boulders and cows and things at him with the tornado. There you go. Break the break bar and then just burst him. Because the spiders are going to keep building up. This is genuinely actually a challenging fight.
Kill you myself!
Yeah, we're going to get atrophied down. It's only Ellie left right now. Oh, no, I think even Ellie went down. Yeah, Ellie and her hologram. And at 50%, here we go. You get the new phase. He becomes the Spider Lord in full. So, yeah, so many of these horrible risen creatures. They look like humans. They look like wizards and stuff. And then you do a bit of damage and they just turn into these totally different forms. This guy becomes a spectral spider. How freaking scary is that? Okay, we're going to throw our mower at him. And that will mower him and break his break bar there and turn some of the spiders in the area into mowers too.
Excuse me, most high poobity poobah Jane. Permission to celebrate, ma'am?
Yes, Ellie. You can celebrate.
Hoorah! The Lighthouse Guardian is down. Victory to the champion of champions. It's all spider legs and dust, folks. Pay your tickets at the door and don't forget to tip your announcer.
Why do I put up with this?
My God, can you hear the horrible Orion hell corruption whispering in the areas? I guess don't go near that thing, whatever it is. It's just screaming in my ear constantly. Ugh. Okay, so now we've got to help Zot redirect the lighthouse beam by bringing him... I guess this is it, actually.
The discombobulator's detached from the combobulator. Could you lend a hand, Commander?
I don't know, for some reason I thought this was the lighthouse, which it obviously isn't. This is just some horrible conch that's gooping goo down. This is the lighthouse. This is the whispering. Ugh, I can't think of anything worse. It makes me shudder just to be near it. What do you guys say before we go for this next thing? Oh, they still have the same dialogue. Okay. Just lead us up the mountain. I have done. All right, let's trigger the lighthouse. Is everything okay? First, we reach the lighthouse. Then we... Yeah, I know. So we're going to hijack the beam. So you want me to go over to the device and what? Press F on it? The interface is damp from the swim over. The etheric circuits appear to be damaged. Well, let's wiggle the connectors. And this is because we are the captivating personality. So captivating, remember, is a sub-personality based on our combination of ferocious dignity and charm. And we can't kind of see that anymore because the old system's like half implemented now. But anyway, fumbling with the connectors restores the device to working order.
Ah, there we are. Thank you.
Can we get away from this thing, please?
Impressive results. That should be enough.
Oh, it does remind me of Claw Island. So that's sending a signal out to the undead. What, and gonna manipulate them now?
That was a rough ascent. The Risen are serious about defending these lighthouses.
Well done, everyone. The next bone ship that follows this beacon will be in for quite a surprise. Now it's a waiting game. We'll meet at the staging grounds when our scouts tell us a ship's been sighted. Until then, dismissed.
So, Zadi, having trouble with the occlusion interface? I could help you study up on it over a nice bottle of Turumba cider.
Study up on it? I? You? I mean, hands to yourself, Holomancer. And don't call me Zadi. It's embarrassing.
Oh, you're absolutely adorable when you're flustered. Shame it doesn't happen more often.
God, I do like her voice. I'm not just saying that as Bract right now. I genuinely think she's got a really nice voice. Okay, so Stealing Light. There you go, complete. And we hear sort of her profession name there, Holomancer, eh? I think I like this Jane. She allows me to have my fun. I think I even saw her smirk once. Next goal, a smile from the Colossus Grumpers. That being Zot, is it? Brilliant. Focus on the mission, Ellie. We have a job to do. No, come on. Zot would be a fool not to notice your charms. Good luck. Here I'm basically like friend zoning myself here, all right? If you're interested, Bract, don't do this, but it's okay. There you go. Oh, I know that. You'd have to be a golem with a faulty ocular scanner to not see it. He just needs to see the world around him. Okay, not all, but everything else. You got a point there. Let me know if he comes around. Right, okay, Ellie. Inkblood, what do you think?
Need to know.
Lots of spiders. Ha! Too bad for him. Amphib eats spiders for breakfast. I tried one once. She can have them. Tastes like raw feet, if you ask me. But I like the thought. The child probably would eat bugs, wouldn't they? Fearlessly. Zot. Appreciate the help with the signal, Commander. Embarrassing, really. And in front of Ellie, too. She never let me hear the end of it. Oh, don't worry. It just got wet from the swim. It's perfectly fine. Honestly, Zot, I think you like her attention. Really, Commander, I must protest. I cannot allow you to impugn my... Oh, glitch it. Permission to speak off record? Go ahead. I admit to having some measure of attraction for Ellie, but I couldn't possibly put her before the mission. I mean, I would, but I can't. Just make sure you have your priorities in order. Okay, yeah, it's all fun and games, but we are in awe here. Be serious. So good. And then Ellie, with the lighthouse emitting our altered signal, the next dead ships to arrive will run aground soon. Nice work, Commander. What do you think of Inkblood? Level-headed and serious. Just what we need to even out the team. He may not have nailed down Roll, but his knowledge of ore is second only to Traherne and Priory Magisters. Really now? Hold on, and he's a Char and you're a human, you're saying that. High praise. What do you think about Zot and Ellie then? Not too sure about Ellie, but her heart's in the right place. Zot has always been a genius, and the two of them together seem to get the job done. Alright, okay. Well, thanks, Corporal. And there we have it. So, yeah, we call her Corporal there. Her name is actually Crusader. I think in the next instance, her title is going to be really weird and wishy-washy as well with the devs. Just let's call her Ellie Jane. All right, so there you have it. That's the first mission of this act. Next, we're going to be dealing with conscripting the dead ships. A little bit of time will go by. Oh, God, there's a friggin' golem here. From the Omicron base. That's the lab underwater, by the way. And, yeah, next, you know, these ships will come in and we can deal with them. We're basically going to board them and see what we've got. Next story instance starts not too far away, but I will see you guys, and Bract will see you guys for that very soon in the next part, where we'll finish this act up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.